So you're thinking about moving to Chandler and your budget is in the $300,000 to $400,000 range, then stick around because in today's video I'm going to show you 4 different houses all across Chandler that fit in that range, and we're going to get started right now. If this is your first time to the channel, my name is Jake Augeri and I'm a local market expert here in the Chandler area. I get calls and texts from people all the time who are curious about Chandler and want to know more about the school systems, the businesses, restaurants, all of those sorts of things. So if that's you and you have any questions, I would love to be a resource for you. Shoot me a text or give me a call or write me an email. I would love to be there for you. I'm standing today right outside of Chandler Fashion Center, which is a huge mall right in the heart of downtown Chandler. This is a great space. They've got all kinds of stores in here. They've got restaurants. There's a movie theater right behind me. We were here just a little bit ago with my wife. We met up with a group of people and we just had dinner down here, and it is such a great area. I graduated high school in Chandler, and so really this is a great spot. I'm so excited today to show you all around. So make sure you stick around and we are going to get started right now. All right, we are coming up on our first property here today. This is a 3-bed, 2-bath, 1,047 square foot house that is listed at $324,000. That puts the price per square foot at right around $309, which in Chandler right now, the price per square foot is right around, on average, $284. So you're about $25 above the average, but this neighborhood is so fascinating. I was excited to show this to you because as I'm driving all around, the architecture here is so unique, and what you'll see is that almost all of these houses just have the 1-car garage behind them. And so I don't know if it was kind of a design specifically for this neighborhood, but I was so intrigued as I was driving through here. I was like, man, I don't know that I've ever seen this many houses with that specific design before. You know, I've seen houses with carports and 2-car garages, but this was just a unique thing. So this is a neighborhood where these properties, they were all built right around the 1980s. It is still maintained by an HOA. We're in what's called the Wood Glen neighborhood. And so as it relates to location, we are in kind of the central corridor of Chandler. So we're at the main street of Dobson and Elliott Road. And so just about a mile west of us is the 101, which that serves to kind of get you north and south throughout the valley. And then we're about 2 or 3 miles south of the 60, which will serve to get you east and west in Chandler. And so all in all, the neighborhood has a really great feel to it. It's quiet, it's kind of tucked back here, and let's take a drive around and I will show you the rest of it. I'll see you at our next stop. All right, we're coming up on our next listing here. Right behind me, this is a 4-bed, 2-bath, 1,422 square foot property that is listed at $360,000. That puts the price per square foot at right around $253, which is about $31 less than the average here in Chandler. So I would expect a property like this to move really quickly. But these houses are a little bit older, so these were built in the late 70s, early 80s. And this is also a neighborhood that isn't maintained by an HOA. And so you can tell, you know, it's not in bad shape at all, but you know, the neighborhood, it does have a little bit of a more rundown feel than some of the HOA maintained neighborhoods that we've seen in Mesa and Gilbert. And again, that just comes down to everybody's personal preference there. Overall, the neighborhood has a really great feel to it. Just behind us, there's some apartments and condos. And so we're kind of on somewhat of a main drag here down this neighborhood. And so I've been here for a few minutes now and it doesn't seem to be super busy. So it could be a great option for somebody who's, you know, wanting to be in a neighborhood that doesn't have a ton of strict rules regarding how the outside of your property looks. So with that being said, let's take a drive around and I will see you at our next stop. coming up on our next listing here in Chandler behind me. This is a 3-bed, 2-bath, 1,336 square foot house that is listed at $390,000. That puts the price per square foot at right around $291, which is about $7 higher than the average in Chandler. So it's not terrible, but it's pushing the price a little bit. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with that one. We're in a neighborhood that's kind of got an interesting feel to it. It is run by an HOA, but it's slightly older. So these houses were built in the 1980s. And then one of the interesting things is, I mean, if you can see behind me, but there is no sidewalks here. And so we're in a cul-de-sac, so it may be a little bit of just kind of a different feel because of the cul-de-sac. But yeah, I just thought that was interesting as we were walking around. So in terms of location in Chandler, where we are right now is we're really kind of right in the middle part of it. So we are at Alma School and Elliott and Guadalupe. And so it's kind of right in the middle, where a couple miles north of us and you have the 60, a couple miles west of us and you have the 101, and then a couple miles east of us is the downtown area. And so we're kind of just right in the middle here. And Chandler, it really has kind of just a great feel to it. You can see right behind me that there is a community pool back there, and so people love their community pools here, especially in the summer. And if you don't have one at your house, then that can become an invaluable thing. And so that being said, let's take a drive around the neighborhood and I'll see you at our next stop. All right, we're coming up on our final listing here right behind me. This is a 2-bed, 2-bath, 1,387 square foot property that is listed at $1 below $400,000. I think that's the closest we've ever come. But yeah, I wanted to show you this because we are in a completely different part of Chandler now. So we've moved further south and further west. And so Chandler really extends nice and far away, but this neighborhood has a pretty different feel to it than some of the other ones. These houses are much closer together. And so this is obviously run by an HOA as well. And it's got a really good feel to it. A lot of these houses, they look pretty similar, but some people like that, so you're not having to worry about, you know, what color you're going to paint your house and that sort of thing. So the HOAs here are pretty strict. Well, hey, as we wrap up today, I wanted to just give you kind of a quick picture of life in Chandler. I went to high school here and I had a really great experience. There is so many cool different things to do. You know, you can also, if you go a little bit further west, it takes you close to what's called Ahwatukee here. There is Intel, which is one of the major employers here in the area, and really people who live in Chandler tend to love it. You can find houses that were built in the 60s and 70s and 80s, or if you go a little bit further south, you can find some new builds as well. And so people really, really like it here. And so if there's any way that I can be a resource for you as you are trying to decide if living in Chandler is for you, would you please reach out, shoot me a text, give me a call, or write me an email. I would love to be a resource for you in any way possible. So thanks so much for taking the time with me today. Let's drive around the neighborhood, and until next time, I will see you later.